Hey everybody, it's Rhonda. I just want to give you a little video on how we're going to do multi-factor authentication when we roll this out in January. We're going to roll it out slowly, but it is very imperative that all supervisors know how to do this function, because if somebody forgets their token at home, and you'll know what I'm talking about when we get closer, you're going to have to reassign a token to them and know how to do this. So to get started, I'm going to show you in Central Square first and I'm going to explain what multi-factor authentication is as we go through this. So multi-factor first, I'll do this first, okay? Is where you guys have probably seen it on some other things that you've used, where you have to get a 6-digit code and put it in on your app or program that you're in. That's what this is. So you've seen that passcode field in Central Square, and that's what this is going to be used for. So you can either have an app on your phone that you use, but a lot of you cannot have your phone on the secure side. So we have tokens. The jail and JSC is going to use this token. It's a card. And then the Care Campus is going to use this little token. Because it has to be kept in a pocket and they're worried about this one bending. So as we go through, we'll be talking about these three choices. In Central Square, there is an app called Authentication Management, and all supervisors should have access to every login in Central Square. So how do you get to this? Right now, it's on the main menu under personnel, and it's called authentication management. But by the time you guys have the responsibility to do this, I will have a button like this one over here on your shortcut buttons, so you can access it. The first step that we're going to have everybody do, and I'm going to do it in small chunks when everybody when we roll this out. So everybody's going to have to confirm their email. So each user can do that from their dashboard page. Okay, so now that I'm on my dashboard page, there's a link on the left side that says Edit Multi-Factor Settings. Every employee has this on their dashboard. So the first thing we're going to do is edit the multi-factor setting, but I already have it set up on mine. So I'm going to go to a test user, and it'll open the same screen as what the user would see when they do it from their dashboard. So I'm going to go down to this test transport.test, and we are going to actually pop it open, and up here is where they have to confirm their email address. We cannot use the app or any of these tokens without them confirming their email. So we'll hit add contact method, and then you put in your work email address. So I'll put my work email in here, if I can spell my name right. And then you're going to check use as primary, and you're going to send the code. It's going to tell you a verification code has been sent. I'm going to go over to my fabulous email box and wait for that, and it just popped in. I'm going to drag it over so you can see the email. It says Pro Suite verification code, and my code is 467017. I'm going to just copy and paste it, but you can remember it and type it in as well. And then once you do that verification code, you just have to click OK, and it's verified now. So that status is verified. From here, the staff person would just save and close and exit out, right? But you as the supervisor, this is where you come in to add a shared key. It's the app on the phone is the simplest one. The other two tokens, you have to burn it. So I'm going to focus on the tokens for this one because that is going to be the main one that you are using. Okay, so if you're going to burn this seed, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that the email is confirmed, which it is already because my email's in here. So you can go in here and see that it's verified. And then you as the supervisor, you're going to add this shared key. So it doesn't matter which token you use, if it's the card, the phone app, or this little guy right here. you're gonna go to the same thing and add a shared key. So I'm gonna just put token for the name, and then you cannot close out of this because you need this QR code. That is how you link that to this. So you gotta go to your apps. If you haven't done it before, you'll want to go to your app store and you type in NFC burner. And when you do that, it's gonna bring up the apps. You're just gonna wanna make sure you get the one that says token to NFC burner. That is the one, it's kind of a black icon and it says token 2 on it. And that's the one that you burn your token on. So I already have that loaded. So let me pull that open. And there it is right here on my apps. So now I'm gonna pop this open, and when it opens for the first time, it's gonna have a little red button down here. That is the button you use to scan this QR code. So I'm gonna hit this red button, and as soon as I focus on that, it's gonna come up and find your token from Central Square, and it's gonna have a seed in here that Central Square sent it when it scanned the QR code, and that is the link to this token. Okay, so you have to turn the token on in order for it to burn. So it's not going to pick up unless you do that. Now, most of the people that I've trained on this in other departments, they have to use the back of their phone to scan it. So it's called an NFC antenna that's in every phone, and it's in a different location depending on your phone, whether it be Android or Apple. I could do it from the front for some reason. So just make sure your token is on, and then you just kind of hover. Oh, you got to hit this fire button first. So hit this fire button, and then it's going to say ready to scan. So it's going to look for that token. So you just kind of hover it over your screen. There it goes. So then it said seed successfully applied. So when it scans successfully, it's going to tell you it did, and then you click OK. At that point, this is now seeded to my little transport tester dude, okay? So I can close out of this and click OK and hit save and close, and now that seed has been applied to this token. There's a few other really good things that came with this authentication management portion of Central Square that I do want to show you. You will find this amazing. You can set a temporary password over here for anybody. It is so much faster than personnel. And the advantage of doing it here is if you set it up to password 1, when that person logs in next time, it's gonna force that user to change their password. So for transport tester, I don't know what the password is, so I'm gonna check that box. I'm gonna hit set temporary password, and I'm just gonna set it to password 1, and just click OK, and you're done. That password has been reset. That is much faster than personnel. So now I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna log in as transport test. I'm gonna put in that password 1 app, or password, and I wanna make sure I type it right. And then it's gonna ask for the passcode now. You cannot get past this once this token's set up. So you gotta hit the power button, and it's gonna give you a number. So it's 816059. Oh, it just changed, hold on. 248146. And it's gonna say your password has expired. Would you like to change it? Sure. So now I'm changing this password. And now it's gonna log in because that passcode was successful. Now I want to show you how you're going to, the card, when you burn it, it will work the same exact way. So you still hover it over here and do all that same thing. The key is to turn on the card before you burn it. But I want to show you how to do an app on a phone because you might have to do it that way as well. So I'm going to sign back in. And I already have the phone app on mine, so I have to look up the passcode on my app. It's about to change, so hold on. 416122. Okay, so we're gonna let that fester while it loads my dashboard. Okay, so now that my dashboard is here, I'm gonna close out of it. I'm gonna go back into authentication management. And one thing that I do wanna show you here is if a primary email has not been set up, it'll be blank. If the person does not have a shared key verified yet, it won't be here. My name has one, so it'll say yes over here. And that's important because when a staff person goes in to confirm their email, they're going to discover they can disable that authentication management. So if you're Johnny Rotten, you know, the worst employee in the world, and you hate this authentication, you can actually disable it yourself. So we always have to make sure that most of these say yes. So check your employees once in a while. I'll be kind of watching this like pretty religiously because it's my job to do so. So I'm going to go back to a test account. Let me see. Okay, so this one has a contact method that's been verified. So we know we can go ahead and set up a shared key. So with the phone app, when you do this, you'll probably want to put like phone app or something. And same thing, you cannot do anything until you scan that QR code. So you're going to have to find like usually Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator are going to be the ones that we will probably use. But I already had Salesforce on my phone because I have another program for work that I use it for. So I did mine here. But it's the same thing. You open your Salesforce or whatever authenticator you're using, and you just, most of them will have a plus sign for an account. This one has add an account. So if I were setting this up, I'd hit add an account. You would do the same thing. You'd scan that QR code and it's gonna find it, and that's it. That's how easy the actual phone app is. You literally just scan that QR code. It's gonna pop up Pro Suite and have your email address, and it's always gonna be generating these numbers. And like this one, you can see that wheel going down, it's counting down. So when that wheel gets close to the other side, it's gonna change numbers. So if you're using the app, you'll learn pretty fast that if it's close to changing, you wait for the new number to come up. So that's how you do that. But I wanna show you something else. Let me find one. Okay, so this one has an active token. This is one that I played with, and I had to really learn this on my own. There was no instructions on how to burn a token. So this one has quite a few disabled ones. If somebody forgets their token, you know, hey, Sarge, I forgot my token. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't live near here. You're gonna have to assign them a new token for the day. And somehow we're gonna have to manage it so you get that old token back when they remember it, because these tokens are not cheap. They're around $30 a piece. So you'll come in here and this token was forgotten. It's at home, it says active. You're gonna have to disable that token. So you would disable it, and then you would add another shared key because now it won't have an active one. You grab a new one out of your box, like one of these boxes. Oh, I'm gonna grab a new one, and then you reassign it just like I showed you before. So you have to disable the active one because it's no longer here, and you have to re-burn a brand new one for them to get through their shift. So that will be their new token, and then you need to collect their old token when they come back the next day. And that's very important you get it back, otherwise we're gonna be losing money like crazy.